Yo, what is up guys? This is Rise and welcome to another video. This is going to be the last Master League Premier Classic video, at least for a little while until it returns. And we've got a fun team here with Dragonite, Gyarados, and Magnezone. I've been able to use this team to climb the past few days, and I got this team from a teammate of mine, Pranav. I encourage you guys to go check out his Twitch stream. Not only is he an exceptional battler, but he's also a very fun, entertaining personality, and I think you guys will really enjoy his stream if you're looking for a Twitch streamer to watch. So I'll leave a link to his channel in the description. Go check him out. He was running this team, and I copied it from him and had some success with it as well. So here we go. D-Knight, Gyarados, Magnezone. We're actually running Dragon Tail on the Dragonite. It's a little bit better in terms of just damage and energy output than Dragon Breaths by a little bit. The thing that makes Dragon Breath better is you have a one-turn move, right? So you have the benefit of being able to time it a little bit easier. However, Dragon Tail, if your opponent mistimes, you could sneak in an entire Dragon Tail, and that could really change the complexion of a match. So that's pretty nice. We've got some really good charm coverage in the back with Waterfall Gary, who is pretty neutral against most Charmers. And then Magnezone, of course, is going to be a really good answer to pretty much all the Charmers, with that Mirror Shot as a cheap steel move to chip away, and then the steel typing resisting the charm damage. So yeah, it's a fun team. If you see something like an Excadrill in the lead, you usually have to stay in because Magnezone has to avoid the Excadrill. For Metagross leads, if you run this team, you swap straight into Waterfall Gary. And here we lure out the Snorlax. And because we have two better answers for Metagross, I think it's best to not stay in. If we stay in with Dragonite, we're kind of just doing ourselves a disservice because we're probably going to have to go down shields or lose the lead. So we're going to make our opponent think a little bit. The Shadow Snorlax makes this a little bit better for Gyarados, because it looks like Gyarados might win this with that one Waterfall head start. We actually force a shield. So that's about as much as I could ask for here from Gyarados, forcing a shield from the Shadow Snorlax. And now we might get a Dragon Tail down. And look at this, we get a Dragon Tail down before even having to absorb a Body Slam. Then we swap. We're met by a Conkeldurr, but this is not over. I overfarm here. I bait. I don't like this bait in hindsight, because there's really no reason for him to shield. But I guess I was guaranteeing that I would get off a Mirror Shot and a Wild Charge, so I do end up grabbing the shield. And now this is a little bit scary, right? Because this Conkeldurr has loads of energy, but we still have both of our shields, so we can safely double shield here. And the Metagross does not have a move yet, so we just need to hope that we can farm this down. We're gonna have to commit to a farm down and get off our superpower before allowing Metagross to get to a Meteor Mash. Is the superpower gonna be enough? Metagross, I think, is like one bullet punch away. Boom, superpower is enough, and we get the dub against the best buddy Metagross. So we got like semi-countered that game, but we were able to dance around with some energy and shield advantage and get the win. Kind of countered, soft countered in the lead, soft countered in the swap, hard countered in back. Excadrill lead. So Excadrill is tough. And what I've found by using this team is they almost always will try to catch your move. So since these battles, I'm a little bit more patient here. I go for the superpower, and they make a phenomenal catch on their Togekiss, which is going to set me way behind here. Not only did they catch, but they got a 0-turn swap, which allowed them to sneak in a charm. Some mutual lag here. I don't think it really changes much. Now we're in an awkward spot. We're going down 2 shields, which I do not recommend. Oh, no, that's right. I absorbed the Rock Slide, so we're only down 1 shield, but still not in a great spot, because that Excadrill that's lurking is going to be tough for us to take out. It also has some residual energy. What's going to come in? It's a Primarina. Okay. with Charm. So our Magnezone will do well here. However, that Excadrill is just way too healthy for us to deal with. So I come in with Zone, ready for the swap. But yeah, this Excadrill, man, is just way too healthy. It still has both shields, and we would need to get it like so low that it's within spark range, and really no point in throwing my move, to be honest. Like, if I throw my move, he just shields and he wins anyway. So this is a top left situation. And really, I think that game was definitely winnable. It was simply the amazing catch my opponent made on that superpower on their Togekiss, which really just put us way behind. If I don't allow that to happen, I think I definitely have a chance to win that game. All right, Dragonite versus Gyarados. So they swapped Snorlax. I typically will just stay in. If they swap a Snorlax, unless like the thing in the lead is something I really need my Dragonite for. For example, a Haxorus. Maybe I would chip and dip. It looks like I'm actually going to chip and dip here since I landed the move. Gary gonna have to take some punishment here. Unfortunately, the Snorlax has a ton of energy, so it might actually get off a third Body Slam, which would be pretty inconvenient for us. And I throw my Aqua Tail to try and avoid that from happening. Looks like a charge move priority here. Aqua Tail. Uh-oh. Grabs a shield. Interesting. So I decide, you know what? With the lead Pokemon, the Gyarados, both of my remaining Pokemon do well there. So I'm actually going to take the shield advantage and completely spark down here. He did get to the equivalent of 14, or he did get to 14 licks, the equivalent of 7 sparks. So I do have to respect the superpower with the shield. In comes Gyarados. I'm like, what on earth is going on? So maybe there's like a Charmer in back. That would make sense why he swapped out. And there it is. Oh, actually a Florges with Fairy Wind. Bop. We electrify the Florges. Looks like a charge move priority here. They're probably going to shield our move. Honestly, at this point, I could shield. I could no shield. The Florges is so low that Dragonite could even take it out. And then I just go for a few style points here. Catch the likely Disarming Voice or Moonblast on our Dragonite. It's a Disarming Voice. Our opponent tries the Undercharge, which is pretty smart. They tried to Undercharge so they could Fairy Wind down. But by this point, we could just Superpower and take out the Fairy. Dragonite taking down Fairies, dude. Superpower OP. Yeah, Dragonite is so good since it got Superpower. It was already pretty good in the Master Leagues, but now that it can threaten Steel types, man, it's like next level. Arguably the best Pokemon, I would say, in MLPC right now. Next opponent, next game, Garchomp lead. If it's Mudshot, that's pretty good. It's Dragon Tail. Unfortunately, our opponent lagged here at the start, so unfortunate for them. So they're not going to get a sneak there on the Dragon Tail. And I guess it doesn't matter too much. They still get the Dragon Tail down. So maybe they did get the sneak. I don't know. I don't think they did. I think they just, maybe their Dragon Tails just do more damage. They land the Outrage, but the reason I was willing to tank it is I thought, okay, well, oh, this is great. A little bit awkward, though. A little bit awkward. Because I have to debuff myself to take out this Gyarados. I get a shield here. That's massive. Getting the shield there is massive. This is a little bit awkward, though, right? Because I'm going to have to debuff myself to get rid of the Gyarados. And now I'm within Wild Charge range from that opposing Magnet Zone. I need to land at least 2 Wild Charges here to take it out, plus maybe a little bit of damage from my own Gyarados. However, I think my own Gyarados does have some energy, so it might get to an Aqua Tail. And look at this. I actually get a CMP tie here. This is massive. Because now, opposing zone loses energy, and now there's no need for me to even shield. So opposing zone just kind of lost track of my zone's energy. Should have either thrown earlier or committed to a farm, but got caught in between. And they are kicking themselves. Definitely had a win con there. Nice 4-1 set with this team. To start off the video, we catch a little Noibat as a reward. By the way, today I did raid hour for Yveltal with some friends. I think there's been a debate going on Twitter. I was tagged by a creative viewer of the channel who made a nice little compilation. I was flattered they included me with like Mystic 7 and Trainer Tips and Zoe and Cricket. I think I was like one of the only PvP guys in there. So I'm flattered that they watch me along with like the big mainstream Pokemon Go YouTubers. And then they clipped all of us saying Yveltal. I say it like that, Yveltal. I think some people say Ilveltal, or no, wait. I don't even know how other people say it. I say Yveltal. What else do they say? I can't even think of the alternate pronunciations, so you know what that means? Mine is the right pronunciation, okay? Yveltal. But I did not get any shinies. That was the point of the story. I did not get any shiny Yveltal. Till next time. To the Bacon Bird. We're going to commit to a farm down here. Haxorus has quite a bit of energy. He's going to land the claw. We are up a shield, though. I get out of there right away. What's going to be in back? It's a Shadow Machamp, man. I go for a bait. And the reason I go for the bait here is because even if I land a wild charge, it doesn't quite one-shot the Machamp. And I debuff myself to the point where the counters would probably shred me. And I wouldn't be able to do anything against the Togekiss. So I figure them shielding a Mirror Shot might be my only win con at that point. But they make the correct call. No shield. And not sure realistically we could have done much that game. That was just kind of hard countered. Hostino. Oh, what a spicy Pokemon. Shadow Arcanine, dude. In MLPC. That is wild. That's like a Boy Ghost level spice pick. We go for Dragon Claw. Get a shield. I feel content just staying in here since since my opponent had to swap in. I was one Dragon Tail ahead. So I get the farm down. What's going to come in? It's the Arcanine. I go for a superpower here since it does a little bit more damage than Dragon Claw. Gotta get to one move. Bop. And look at this. We're going to not waste any time coming right away with Gary. Waterfall down. And now we've got a 2-on-1 fast break. And we're just going to dish it off to Magnezone to score the layup, if you will. Togekiss, unable to contain the 2-on-1 fast break. Did not have a good matchup there. Had a size disadvantage. Actually, I don't know. I don't know how big Togekiss is. Some Pokemon, like, I talked about this. It might have even been my last video. But it was definitely a recent video. Some Pokemon are, like, way bigger than you think. Some are probably smaller than you think. I have no idea how big, like, a Togekiss is. Let me know in the comments. How big is a Togekiss? So, this Dragonite lives with, like, 1 HP. It seems to depend on their IVs. If that, like, last Dragon Tail ends up KOing or not. I make a mistake here. I just kind of react and throw the superpower. But throwing the superpower here allows this Excadrill to farm me down. I think if I had thrown the Claw, I might have gotten off a second move. I think if I had baited with the Claw, I would have gotten off a second move. And unfortunately, I just gave this Excadrill so much farm. Now we're in a really awkward spot. I throw my Aqua Tail to try and get this Magnezone into Wild Charge range. So now I only need to land one Wild Charge to take this out. The awkward thing is there's an Excadrill waiting for us. Now the Excadrill, its fast moves do not threaten our Gyarados, but we cannot afford to give it a farm down on our zone. So I'm actually going to let this opposing zone land 2 Wild Charges on me. I don't even really want to take it out. So I'm going to Mirror Shot here. It doesn't KO. And check this out. We simul KO. And this allows no farm for the Excadrill. We still have our 1 shield. And I have to hope 3 waterfalls KO. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. And we pull out a pretty crazy win there. I was really proud of that win. Because I think that was a very difficult endgame scenario with the Excadrill getting that farm. And we were able to find a win condition there. So I was pretty proud of that one. Dragonite mirror match here. These opposing Dragonites are very smart. I was hoping some of them would like get greedy and try and throw on alignment, which would give me an entire free Dragon Tail. However, they are not doing that. I'm going to throw here as to not allow a second Dragon Claw through. They're going to let it go, which makes sense. I'm one Dragon Tail away from a superpower, so I'm going to go for it here. And this will do heavy damage to Snorlax. If it goes through, it grabs the shield. So now we have to make a call of what we think's in back. They let Dragonites. They need like a Charm answer. So probably a Steel type in back. So I'm gonna call a Steel type in back and come in here with Magnezone. The Snorlax is ahead on energy, so it feels kind of tough to go for a Wild Charge. I'm actually just gonna take this. I do get super powered, but because of the debuff, I'm able to survive. Gonna go for the Wild Charge now. The Snorlax is super debuffed. Gonna blind swap, and unfortunately, it is not the Steel type we wanted to see. It was a Steel type, but not the Steel type we needed to see. We're able to call a Mirror Shot bait here. I figured they probably wouldn't risk debuffing themselves and allowing me to potentially waterfall down. We land the Aqua Tail. We kind of have to shield at this point. And I'm only going to reach an Aqua Tail here. I'm not going to reach a Crunch, so I have to settle for the Aqua Tail. And this is going to be really close. But unfortunately, it lives with just a few HP. And if this is a Wild Charge, this will certainly take us out. Mirror Shot, we would live. But our opponent just barely gets to the Wild Charge. In a really good game there. Really close game. That we were just a little bit short. Very nicely played by the opponent. Searching for the next one. No way, Jose. No way Jose is going to beat us. Or will he? Dragonite versus Metagross. So we're going to save swap Gary here. Gary's not like the safest of swaps, right? Because things, most dragons are going to give it a very hard time. But there isn't really much grass in MLPC, so at least you don't have to worry about that. We're going to go for a Crunch here. We get a debuff, which is kind of nice. I'm hoping I get to this Aqua Tail. I do. This is pretty helpful for some nice chip damage. Won't threaten to KO Snorlax, but will at least make this a manageable farm down. Part of me is a little bit concerned of like an Outrage here. I've run into like one Outrage Snorlax, probably all MLPC, and maybe like one Earthquake Snorlax that took me out. But I thought I couldn't really afford to shield there. I'm going to save my shield advantage for Zone. I'm going to get off this superpower to potentially give Zone a shield advantage. Superpower gets shielded, and oh, there's a Conkeldurr in back. However, you may think, oh, hard countered, game over. This isn't over yet, right? Because I still have both of my shields, and I could potentially get a farm down on this Conkeldurr and land a superpower on the Metagross. So this game is not over yet. We grab the second shield, and now we cannot afford to throw a move here. We have to either commit to the farm down or get off our move before their second move. However, they get off both moves, so I have to commit to a farm down here. I get the farm down. I'm going to do one Dragon Tail and then throw, because this should give me superpower plus Dragon Claw, and Dragonite wins CMP against Metagross. Look at that. We win the charge move priority, and we're able to take the win. So despite getting hard, well, I consider Metagross now that Dragonite has superpower like a soft counter. So like soft countered in the lead, soft countered in the safe swap, and then hard countered in back. But because we were able to dance around with energy, we were able to flip that one. So an example where MLPC isn't necessarily RPS, right? And our opponent didn't play that bad by any means. I'm trying to think, what could our opponent have done differently? Maybe just swap the Snorlax immediately into the Gyarados. They decided to like stay in, chip, and then dip. I think if they had actually just swapped in Snorlax right away into our Gyarados, that probably would have been the better play for them. All right, Bov, the next opponent. Good lead for us. Into the Haxorus. In comes Metagross. We're going to respond with our Gyarados. So this is good for us. The only concern at this point would be if there's like an Excadrill in back, because Excadrill would be a threat to sweep our back line. So if you're concerned about like an Excadrill in back, I guess swapping the Magnezone here could be better. But Gyarados is just a more comfortable answer for Metagross than Magnezone, because Gyarados doesn't have to expend a shield here unless like they shield. Gyarados, you can just match however many shields they commit. However, with Magnezone, you're going to lose the 0 shield, so you have to commit a shield. Going to get off my Crunch here, which will do some nice damage to Haxorus. I'm thinking it's probably either a Snorlax or his own Magnezone in back. Going to come in here with Mr. Dragonite. Going to have to tank 1 here. This Haxorus probably already has 2 Dragon Claws. I kind of lost count at this point. And it's his own Magnezone, so a team I like to run myself. I'm going to bait here. I feel like this is just a super obvious shield for our opponent. So I get the bait, and those Dragon Tails are helpful, right? Because they put this Magnezone into double Wild Charge range, whereas our Magnezone is not in double Wild Charge range. We're not double Wild Charge range from full health. We're going to be able to live 2. Versus once you've been chipped a little bit, 2 will be lethal. I charge here, which is a little bit risky, right? Because now the Spark's going to do a little more. Oh, never mind. Rise, what are you talking about? I can safely Wild Charge because he debuffed himself twice. So obviously my charge is going to KO after he's been 4 times debuffed. A little bit of mutual lag just to scare us. Just to make us question if we're going to lag out. But we get the win. Here we are. Secondary matchup. We led against the Togekiss, so we got to get out of there. And now Snorlax greets us. We get a shield here, so I'm okay with that. I don't think Snorlax needs to expend a shield here, to be honest. But maybe they were afraid of like getting debuffed, and that could potentially flip things. I decided to commit to the Crunch, because I thought maybe if I could farm down here, that'd be better. But questionable decision to not throw my Aqua Tail, because now I have to throw a Dragon Claw anyway, because I don't want to have to unnecessarily eat a Body Slam. I'm getting ready to swap. Hoping it's like... it's a fighter, dang. And we've seen this comp like twice now, right? And this time the Machamp actually shields. I decided to just go for the Hail Mary, land the Wild Charge. Maybe I could Spark down, but this is going to be game over. At this point, I'm just not going to really bother shielding. Because we know there's a fully healthy Togekiss waiting for us. So once again, I don't think we really could have done much this game. Because you could argue like fight for switch, I guess, against the Snorlax, but I don't think there's any way Gary's flipping that. So that is a GG. Dragonite versus Snorlax. Good lead for Dragonite. In comes an opposing Dragonite, and when they swap in and I'm ahead of turn, I'm just going to stay in here. I get a shield. I'm debating whether I even want a shield or not, but I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll shield. I'm ahead by at least a turn here. And my Dragon Tail doesn't quite KO, but I snipe with a Spark. And in comes Snorlax. This is good. So I banked a move with Dragonite. And Snorlax isn't like a hard check to Magnezone, because we're going to be able to double charge here. It's always very tempting for me to Mirror Shot bait on this second one, because I feel like they have to shield to get off their energy, but it's a little bit risky. So I just go for the safer play. Go for double charge. Not going to shield at this point since I'm so debuffed and he's got lots of energy. He lands the Body Slam and then he throws back to back. So I'm like, okay, this is perfect. I'm expecting him to immediately swap out, knowing that I have a move banked on my Dragonite. So I'm actually not going to come in with the Dragon. I'm going to come in with Gyarados. He swaps Togekiss, and we're in a pretty good spot here. This is like usually a good matchup for Togekiss, even shields, but since we are up a shield, we are in a very comfortable spot here because we'll simply be able to shield this Ancient Power, farm down, then we'll have a move on each of our Pokemon, which will be plenty to take out the Snorlax. Big waterfall down, washing away the Togekiss. We're going to bite Mr. Snorlax with a crunch, combo play, little combo wombo. Don't forget to set it to wombo, SpongeBob. And we take out the Snorlax. Let's go. Thank you, Niantic, for letting me know that I won. I appreciate it. As we approach the next battle. I think we've got 2 more battles. Jon Snow! Any Game of Thrones fans watching this video, let me know. Anybody watching House of Dragon? I have not watched it yet. Oh, man. I just recently watched a few Netflix series. I don't have any that I'm currently watching, so let me know if I should watch House of Dragon, if it's worth it. I was a big Game of Thrones fan, so I really enjoyed that series. You would think I'd enjoy House of Dragon. It's just, oh man, it's just like, it's such a commitment, you know? Like getting hooked on a series. I'm either like all in or like I just don't watch it. I need to like find a balance. Personal problems. We're in a good spot here. We're going to chip the Magnezone with our Gyarados. Once again, it's nice to get this like into Wild Charge range rather than... oh, I'm actually going to throw both Aqua Tails here because I know that my Zone does fine against Metagross. He's actually willing to tank both, which makes this really easy for me now because I can just swap in Zone. I can take all this energy, and he's actually baiting me. I don't think there's any reason to bait here. There's no reason for me to shield. So we're going to get a big farm down, and we should be in a pretty comfortable spot because our Gyarados is still not like healthy, but healthy enough where it's not going to get bullet punched down by Metagross. We grab a shield. He CMPs us. I'm just going to shield even though I know it's probably a bait. So we can get off our charge. Going to electrify the Metagross. Magnezone, use Wild Charge. We'll swap in Gary. Meteor Mash might KO from here. But we just need 1 Spark to take out Metagross, and you cannot stack a Meteor Mash and an Earthquake. Meteor Mash is double resisted by Zone. However, it's such a busted move that it still does quite a bit. And here we are in the final battle. Tough lead. Let's see if we can overcome it. Safe swap Gyarados with Waterfall. This is a pretty neutral matchup here against Florges. Sometimes they Moonblast here. Sometimes they just go Disarming Voice. I decide to shield. Unfortunately, I get baited with the Disarming Voice. So really nice bait from the opponent. I know this has to be another Disarming Voice, so I'm not going to shield this one. In comes Snorlax, and now I'm really wishing that I got rid of my energy against that Florges, because now that I've been chipped so much, I'm probably not going to be able to get back switch advantage here. Unless maybe they let this go through. Maybe then they do let it go through, and I get defense drop. So I'm like, at this point, okay, you know what? I'm going to fight for a switch. I'm going to go down 2 shields, Waterfall down, and I'm down 2 shields, which stinks, but I will have my Zone lined up against the Florges. So does the Florges come back in? No, a Machamp comes back. And I'm like, okay, this is very winnable. And we're like, okay, I think I'm playing this pretty well. I think I might have a chance here. As long as I don't like do something really silly and just beat myself, I can just stay in here in a pretty good matchup. And then I'll have the Zone for the Florges. As simple as that, right? But I swap because I tried to call the opposing swap. So I'm sure I will get 37 comments. That's an exaggeration. I'm sure I will get 7 comments explaining to me, Rise, why did you do this? That was the incorrect play. Comments, I'm telling you, you can comment that. I'm aware already. This is not brand new information if you comment that that was the incorrect play. I got ahead of myself, and I was anticipating after they land the rock slide here that they would swap into their Florges as to not give my Dragonite more energy and more farm, but no, they just stay in and they win the game. So yes, I am aware, Heather, Rebecca, Carson, that just commented, Rise, why on earth would you swap your Magnezone into Machamp? Magnezone's a steel type. It takes super effective damage from a champ who's a fighting type. Guys, I'm aware. Not brand new information. I made a mistake. I do it all the time. And this game's about limiting those mistakes. They're going to happen. Misplays are going to happen. You just try and make them as few times as possible. But we still go 4-1, 3-2, 3-2 with this team. So overall, 10-5. Take that any day of the week. And a really cool team. Shout out again to Pranav, who came up with this team. Give him a follow on Twitch. Links in the description. If you guys enjoyed this video, I would very much appreciate a like. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. All comments help the algorithm. And all that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.